अंतःकरण अतिशय दुखी हो गए एवं मुख की कांति कुम्हला गई। जब अपार शक्तिमान एवं सत्य संकल्प भगवान ने यह विघ्न देखा तब उन्होंने अति अद्भुत कच्छप शरीर धारण किया और समुद्र के जल में प्रवेश कर अत्यधिक भाग आया। कभी पुनः मंथन करने के लिए उद्यत हो गए और भगवान श्रीहरि ने के समान 1,00,000 योजन फैली हुई अपनी पीठ पर मंदर पर्वत को धारण कर रखा। हे राजन, जब महाशाली देवता और असुर ने अपने भुज बल से उस पर्वत को घुमाया तब असीम शक्तिमान कच्छप भगवान श्रीहरि को उन्हें ऐसे सुखद अनुभव हुआ मानो कोई उनकी पीठ पर उजला रहे हो। जब मंदर पर्वत
when the Mandara mountain,
कच्छपधारी भगवान श्री हरि के पीठ पर
they fixed this mountain on the back of Kurma Dev Bhagavan and they started churning the ocean.
उनके पीठ पर खुजली को खुजला रहे।
Bhagavan felt like he was itching something that was itching on his back, so he felt so much bliss.
सामर्थ्य का अभाव है कि वासुदेवनाथ को संघर्ष के कारण अत्यधिक पीड़ा हो रही है। तभी बल बीज पड़ने के बढ़ाने और उत्साह प्रदान करने के लिए उन्हें शक्ति का संचार करने लगा। वे असुर के राजसी शक्ति के द्वारा असुर के रूप में देवताओं के सात्विक शक्ति के द्वारा एक रूप में और वासुदेवनाथ के तमोगुणमयी निद्रा रूप में प्रविष्ट हो गए। भगवान श्री हरि संग द्वितीय पर्वत राज के समान मंदारचल पर विराजमान होकर उसे एक हाथ से दबाकर स्थित हो गए। उस समय आकाश में ब्रह्मा शिव आदि इंद्र आदि देवता उनकी स्तुति करते हुए पुष्प की वर्षा करने लगे। इस प्रकार भगवान ने पर्वत के ऊपर सहस्त्र वायु के रूप में नीचे उनके आधार पुरुष के रूप में संपूर्ण पर्वत के देवता के रूप में देवता के रूप में करने लगे। उस समय समुद्र और उसमें रहने वाले मगरमच्छ आदि जीव विक्षुब्ध हो उठे। सर्पराज वासु के हजार कठोर नेत्र और निश्वास से आग और धुआं निकलने लगा जिसके कारण उर्लुम कालियो गोली हिल्लोल आदि पशु इस प्रकार निस्तेज हो गए मानो जंगल की आग से झुलसते हुए सरल के अर्थात सांपों के पेड़ हो गए। सांपों के पेड़ सांपों क्या है? वासुकी सांप की जला से देवताओं और सौंदर्य संपत्ति क्षीण हो उठे। उसकी गति सांसें धुएं से उसके वस्त्र मालाएं और मुखादि सांसें धुएं से वस्त्र मालाएं और मुखादि धूल हो गए। उसमें भगवान की कृपा से मेघ उनके ऊपर वर्षा करने लगे और सामुद्रिक तरंग की सिंची देकर शीतल वायु प्रवाहित होने लगी।
Are you understanding something or nothing? What is the shloka number? Okay, now we are reading 8th canto. 14 to 17 shlok.
यदा सुधा न जायते निर्मथंत स्वयं। बड़े बड़े देवताओं एवं असुरों के द्वारा मंथन किए जाने पर भी समुद्र से अमृत नहीं निकला। तब भगवान अजित ने स्वयं ही मंथन करना प्रारंभ कर दिया।
So Bhagavan started churning also.
मेघ के समान मेघ श्याम कनक परिधि करना विद्युत 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 उर्मी भाज दिव्य।
What is the chapter? Which chapter? Sorry.
सर्गधरु रक्त नेत्र चतुर्वेद मद द्वैत
8.
धृत्वा मंथन मंथना परिगेरी द्वासुसमु हिताद्रि।
Who knows which chapter? 8 canto 8. 8 canto 8. 8th chapter, right?
शरीर पर सुनहला पीताम्बर, कानों में विद्युत के समान चमकते कुंडल और घुंघराली केस, गले में वनमाला एवं नेत्र की रक्तिम आवाज से भगवान की अद्भुत शोभा हो रही थी। सर्वत्र विजय श्री प्राप्त करने वाले भगवान अपनी अभय प्रदायिनी भुजाओं से बासुकी नाग को पकड़कर और कच्छप रूप से पर्वत को धारण।
Which sloka? I'm lost. Who knows?
मथानी से समुद्र का मंथन करने लगे। तब वे दूसरी प्रतिद्वंदी नीलगिरी पर्वत के समान बड़े ही सुंदर लगे थे।
Which verse?
स्वयं भगवान अजित भगवान
Ajit Bhagavan.
स्वयं ही मंथन करना शुरू कर दिया।
So he started himself to churn the ocean.
भगवान के इस प्रकार मंथन।
Ai, qual verso, gente? Por favor, alguém sabe? Which verse? Which verse? Who knows? Please tell me. I'm lost. That's why I'm not reading. Haribol. Who knows which verse? Dhanvantari. Kanjeshwari, you are there. Please tell me which the verse. What is the verse?
तिमिंगिल और ग्राह व्याकुल होकर ऊपर निकल आए और उसके पश्चात
Which chapter?
क्षुब्ध समुद्र से सर्वप्रथम अति भयंकर हलाहल।
Indira Didi, which chapter, please?
पहले क्या आ गया?
So what came first? The venom.
हे राजन, अत्यंत उग्र वह विष समुद्र के ऊपर नीचे तथा चारों दिशाओं के।
Which chapter, please? Chapter.
प्रजागण और प्रजापति भयभीत होकर और किसी का आश्रय न पाकर सदा शिव की शरण में गए। शिव जी देवी पार्वती के साथ कैलाश पर्वत पर विराजमान होकर तीनों लोगों की समृद्धि के लिए तपस्या कर रहे थे। वहाँ बैठे हुए मुनिगण मुक्ति की कामना से उनकी सेवा कर रहे थे। प्रजापति ने उन्होंने देखकर प्रणाम किया और उनकी इस प्रकार स्तुति करने लगे। प्रजापति तो ऊंचू देवादिदेव महादेव भूतात्मनम भूतभावनम त्राहीनं शरणं पत्राणु स्त्रीलोक दहनातिपासम।
8th chapter, which sloka?
ने कहा, हे देवादिदेव महादेव, आप समस्त प्राणियों की अंतःकरण
7th chapter.
पालन करता है।
Oh.
हम आपकी शरण में आए हैं। आप कृपा करके त्रिलोक के भस्म करने वाले और इस अत्यंत उग्र विष से हमारी रक्षा कीजिए।
Thanks. 8th canto, 7th chapter, 20 shloka 20.
बंधमक्षये ताम अर्चन्ति कुशला प्रपन्ना अर्तिहर गुरु। संपूर्ण जगत के मुक्ति और बंधन के कारण आप ही है और आप ही सबकी नियंता है। सुधीजन आपकी आराधना करते हैं क्योंकि आप शरणागत के दुख को नष्ट करके उन्हें मुक्ति प्रदान करते हैं। हे विभो, आप स्वयं प्रकाश है।
Verse 23. O Lord, you are self-effulgent and supreme. You create this material world by your personal energy and you assume that the names Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwar when you act in creation, maintenance and annihilation. So those who, as like me, were not following, you can read all the 7th chapter, 8th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, then you keep up where Gurudev is reading. He was reading today this 7th chapter. You are the cause of all causes, the self-effulgent, inconceivable, impersonal Brahma, which is originally Parabrahman. You manifest various potencies in this cosmic manifestation. Oh Lord, you are the original source of Vedic literature. You are the original cause of material creation, the life force, the senses, the 5 elements, the 3 modes, and the Mahatata. You are eternal time, determination, and 2 religious systems called truth and truthfulness, Satya and Rita. You are the shelter of the syllable Om, which consists of the 3 letters A, U, Ma. Verse 26, chapter 7, 8th canto. O Father of all planets, learned scholars know that fire is your mouth, the surface of the globe is your lotus feet, eternal time is your movement, all the directions are your ears, and Varun, master of the waters, is your tongue. 27. O Lord, the sky is your navel, the air is your breathing, the sun is your eyes, and the water is your semen. You are the shelter of all kinds of living entities, high and low, the God and the moon. The God of the moon is your mind, and the upper planetary system is your head.
हे देववदत वेदत्रय मूर्ति सातु सातु सागर आपकी ओख एवं
O Lord, you are the 3 Vedas personified. The 7 seas are your abdomen, and the mountains are your bones. All drugs, creepers, and vegetables are the hairs on your body. The Vedic mantras like Gayatri are the 7 layers of your body, and the Vedic religious system is the core of your heart. O Lord, the 5 important Vedic mantras are represented by your 5 faces, from which the 38 most celebrated Vedic mantras have been generated. Your lordship, being celebrated as Lord Shiva, is self-illuminated. You are directly situated as the Supreme Truth, known as Paramatma. O Lord, your shadow is seen in religion, which brings about varieties of irreligious creations. The 3 modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are your 3 eyes. All the Vedic literatures, which are full of verses, are emanations from you, because their compilers wrote the various scriptures after receiving your glance. O Lord Grisha, since the impersonal Brahma effulgence is transcendental to the material modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance, the various directors of this material world certainly cannot appreciate it or even know where it is. It is not understandable even to Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, or the King of Heaven, Mahendra.
इस प्रकार समस्त देवताओंगण भगवान श्री अजित के जो है स्तव स्तुति आदि करने लगे. अभी श्लोक नंबर 36 में आ जाइए.
Now shloka 36. Sri Shukadeva Goswami continued.
सर्वभूत सुहृद देव इदमाहम सत्य प्रियम। सुखदेव गोस्वामी पहाड़ करने महाराज
Shukadeva Goswami told, hey Maharaj,
भगवान शंकर की समस्त जीवों के हितकारी है।
Lord Shiva is always benevolent toward all living entities. When he saw that the living entities were very much disturbed by the poison which was spreading everywhere, he was very compassionate. Thus he spoke to his eternal consort, Sati, as follows. Lord Shiva said, my dear Bhavani, just see how all these living entities have been placed in danger because of the poison produced from the churning of the ocean of milk. It is my duty to give protection and safety to all living entities struggling for existence. Certainly, it is the duty of the Master to protect his suffering dependents.
संसार के प्राणी के एक दूसरे के साथ बैर भले ही ले लेते हैं, किंतु साधु पुरुष दूसरे प्राणियों की रक्षा के लिए अपनी न तो प्राण की बलिदान कर देते हैं। हे साधु सिले जो मनुष्य
People in general, being bewildered by the illusionary energy of the Supreme Lord, are always engaged in animosity. But devotees, even at the risk of their own temporary lives, try to save them. My dear gentle wife Bhavani, when one performs benevolent activities for others, the Supreme God Hari is very pleased. And when the Lord is pleased, I am also pleased. So all the demons and demigods, they were praying to Shiva. So Shivaji came there. And what did he do? He took the Kalkut venom, poison. He drank that. Therefore, let me drink this poison, for all the living entities may thus become happy because of me. Shukadeva Goswami continued. After informing Bhavani in this way, Lord Shiva began to drink the poison, and Bhavani, who knew perfectly well the capabilities of Lord Shiva, gave him her permission to do so. Thereafter, Lord Shiva, who is dedicated to auspicious, benevolent work for humanity, compassionately took the whole quantity of poison in his palm and drank it. As if in defamation, the poison born from the ocean of milk manifested its potency by marking Lord Shiva's neck with a bluish line. That line, however, is now accepted as an ornament of the Lord. So when Lord Shiva took that poison, his throat, he kept it in his throat. That's why his throat became blue. That's why his name also became Nilakanta. Tesar Bhagavan ki jai. Nilakanta. Why he kept in his throat? He thought, Bhagavan is in my heart, so I don't want this poison to go to Bhagavan.
एवं दूसरे को संताप का हरण करने से सर्वंतर्यामी भगवान प्रसन्न होते हैं। सभी को आशीर्वाद देने वाले देवता भी परम देवता आदि देव महादेव।
Therefore, Lord Shiva, who is dedicated to auspicious, benevolent work for humanity, compassionately took the whole quantity of poison in his palm and drank it. As if in defamation, the poison born from the ocean of milk manifested its potency by marking Lord Shiva's neck with a bluish line. That line, however, is now accepted as an ornament of the Lord. It is said that great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Lord, who is present in everyone's heart.
शिव जी
So when Bhagavan Shivji drank the poison,
उनके हाथ से थोड़ी 2-4 बूंद जो है
2-4 drops
क्या हो गया,
of venom
जमीन पर गिर गया।
from his hand fell on the floor.
गिर जाने से उस समय
When it fell on the floor,
छिटक गया था, उस समय कुछ
that those drops, some snakes also came.
विषौली लताएं और अन्न दंसल से
Scorpions, cobras, poisonous drugs, and other animals whose bites are poisonous took the opportunity to drink whatever little poison had fallen and scattered from Lord Shiva's hand while he was drinking. That's why these animals are poisonous until nowadays.
समुद्र मंथन से अमृत प्रकट होना और
Next chapter.
मोहिनी अवतार ग्रहण करना।
How the nectar came from the ocean and how God came in the form of Mohini.
पिते गहे विसांगेनम।
Verse 1, chapter 8. Shukadeva Goswami continued. Upon Lord Shiva's drinking the poison, both the demigods and the demons, being very pleased, began to churn the ocean with renewed vigor. As a result of this, there appeared a cow known as Surabhi. O King Parikshit, great sages who were completely aware of the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies took charge of that Surabhi cow. So first they started again to churn the ocean. So first the Surabhi cow came. O King Parikshit, great sages who are completely aware of the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies took charge of that Surabhi cow, which produced all the yogurt, milk and ghee absolutely necessary for offering oblations to the fire. They did it just for the sake of pure ghee, which they wanted for the performance of sacrifice to elevate themselves to the higher planetary systems up to Brahmalok. Thereafter, a horse named Ucchasrava, which was as white as the moon, was generated. Bali Maharaj desired to possess this horse, and Indra, the king of heaven, did not protest, for he had previously been so advised by the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Ucchasrava brush माने घोड़ा.
So this horse, Ucchasrava,
कौन ले लिया?
who took it?
दैत्य लोग ले लिया.
The demons.
उसके पास इसके पश्चात ऐरावत नामक श्रेष्ठ गजराज निकाला. यह तो
As the next result of the churning, the king of elephants named Airavata was generated. This elephant was white and with its 4 tusks it defied the glories of Kailash mountain, the glorious abode of Lord Shiva. Thereafter, O king, 8 great elephants which could go in any direction were generated. They were headed by Airavata. 8 she-elephants headed by Abramu were also generated. So 8 great elephants came, then more 8 she-elephants came out of the ocean. Generated thereafter from the great ocean were the celebrated gems kaustubha money and Padmaraga money. Lord Vishnu, to decorate his chest, desired to possess them. Generated next was the Parijat flower, which decorates the celestial planets. O king, as you fulfill the desires of everyone on this planet by fulfilling all ambitions, The Parijata fulfills the desires of everyone. So what did the demons take? The horse, Ucchasrava. They took the Ucchasrava horse. And the demigods, they took the elephant, Airavata, and also other 8 smaller elephants, she-elephants. They also took. After that, the kaustubha gem appeared and Padmarag money. So Vishnu, to decorate his chest, desired to possess them, and he took them. Generated next was the Parijata flower. Parijata tree. Is a desired tree. It went to the to the assembly of the demigods. Next there appeared the apsaras, who were used as prostitutes on the heavenly planets. They were fully decorated with golden ornaments and lockets and were dressed in fine and attractive clothing. The apsaras move very slowly in an attractive style that bewilders the inhabitants of the heavenly planets. Then there appeared the goddess of fortune, Rama, who is absolutely dedicated to being enjoyed by the Supreme God. So after that, directly Lakshmi-devi appeared. She appeared like electricity, surpassing the lightning that might illuminate a marble mountain. Because of her exquisite beauty, her bodily features, her youth, her complexion and her glories, everyone, including the demigods, the demons and the human beings, desired her. They were attracted because she is the source of all opulences. The king of heaven, Indra, brought a suitable sitting place for the goddess of fortune. All the rivers of sacred water, such as the Ganges and Jamuna, personified themselves, and each of them brought pure water in golden water pots for Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. The land became a person and collected all the drugs and herbs needed for installing the deity. The cows delivered 5 products, namely milk, yogurt, ghee, urine and cow dung, and spring personified collected everything produced in spring during the months of Chaitra and Vaishakh, April and May. The great sages performed the bathing ceremony of the goddess of fortune as directed in the authorized scriptures. The Gandharvas chanted all auspicious Vedic mantras, and the professional women dancers very nicely danced and sang authorized songs prescribed in the Vedas. The clouds in personified form beat various types of drums known as mridangos, parnavs, murajas, and anakas. They also blew conch shells and bugles known as gomukas, and played flutes and stringed instruments. The combined sound of these instruments was tumultuous. Thereafter, the great elephants from all the directions carried big water jugs full of Ganges water and bathed the goddess of fortune to the accompaniment of Vedic mantras chanted by learned Brahmas. While thus being bathed, the goddess of fortune maintained her original style. With a lotus flower in her hand, and she appeared very beautiful. The goddess of fortune is the most chaste, for she does not know anyone but the Supreme Lord. The ocean, which is source of all valuable jewels, supplied the upper and lower portions of a yellow silken garment. The predominating deity of the water, Varuna, presented flower gardens surrounded by 6-legged bumblebees drunken with honey. Vishwakarma, one of the Prajapatis, supplied varieties of decorated ornaments. The goddess of learning, Saraswati, supplied a necklace. Lord Brahma supplied a lotus flower, and the inhabitants of Nagalok supplied earrings. Thereafter, Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, having been properly celebrated with an auspicious ritualistic ceremony, began moving about, holding in her hand a garland of lotus flowers, which were surrounded by humming bumblebees. Smiling with shyness, her cheeks decorated by her earrings, she looked extremely beautiful. Her two breasts, which were symmetrical and nicely situated, were covered with sandalwood pulp and kumkum powder, and her waist was very thin. As she walked here and there, her ankle bells jingling softly, she appeared like a creeper of gold. While walking among the Gandharvas, Jakshas, Asuras, Siddhas, Charanas, and denizens of heaven, Lakshmi-devi, the goddess of fortune, was scrutinizingly examining them, but she could not find anyone naturally endowed with all good qualities. None of them was devoid of faults, and therefore she could not take shelter of any of them. And the goddess of fortune, examining the assembly, thought in this way: someone who has undergone great austerity has not yet conquered anger. Someone possessed knowledge, but he has not conquered material desires. Someone is a very great personality, but he cannot conquer lusty desires. Even a great personality depends on something else. How then can he be the supreme controller? Someone may possess full knowledge of religion, but still not be kind to all living entities. In someone, whether human or demigod, there may be renunciation, but that is not the cause of liberation. Someone may possess great power and yet be unable to check the power of eternal time. Someone else may have renounced attachments to the material world, yet he cannot compare to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, no one is completely freed from the influence of the material modes of nature. Someone may have longevity but not have auspiciousness or good behavior. Someone may have both auspiciousness and good behavior, but the duration of his life is not fixed. Although such demigods as Lord Shiva have eternal life, they have inauspicious habits like living in crematoriums. And even if others are well qualified in all respects, they are not devotees of the Supreme Lord. So in this way, after full deliberation, the goddess of fortune accepted Mukunda as her husband because, although he is independent and not in want of her, he possesses all transcendental qualities and mystic powers, and is therefore the most desirable. So in the end, she accepted Mukunda as husband. Approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the goddess of fortune placed upon his shoulders the garland of newly grown lotus flowers, which was surrounded by humming bumblebees searching for honey. Then, expecting to get a place on the bosom of the Lord, she remained standing by his side, her face smiling in shyness. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Father of the three worlds, and his bosom is the residence of Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the proprietor of all opulence. The goddess of fortune, by her favorable and merciful glance, can increase the opulence of the three worlds, along with their inhabitants and their directors, the demigods. The inhabitants of Gandharva Lok and Charan Lok then took the opportunity to play their musical instruments, such as conch shells, bugles, and drums. They began dancing and singing along with their wives. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the great aged Angira, and similar directors of universal management showered flowers and chanted mantras indicating the transcendental glories of the Supreme Lord. So Brahma and demigods throwing rain of flowers, they were praying many prayers, performing prayers. O king, because of being neglected by the goddess of fortune, the demons and Rakshasas were depressed, bewildered, and frustrated, and thus they became shameless. Next appeared Varuni, the lotus-eyed goddess who controls drunkards. Who came? Varuni. With the permission of the Supreme God Krishna, the demons, headed by Bali Maharaj, took possession of this young girl. So the presiding deity of the alcoholic beverages. So, with the permission of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the demons headed by Bali Maharaj took possession of this young girl. O king, thereafter, while the sons of Kashyap, both demons and demigods, were engaged in churning the ocean of milk, a very wonderful male person appeared. He was strongly built, his arms were long, stout and strong. His neck, which was marked with 3 lines, resembled a conch shell. His eyes were reddish, and his complexion was blackish. He was very young. He was garlanded with flowers, and his entire body was fully decorated with various ornaments. He was dressed in yellow garments and wore brightly polished earrings made of pearls. The tips of his hair were anointed with oil, and his chest was very broad. His body had all good features. He was stout and strong like a lion, and he was decorated with bangles. In his hand he carried a jug filled to the top with nectar. This person was Dhanvantari, a plenary portion of Lord Vishnu. He was very conversant with the science of medicine, and as one of the demigods he was permitted to take a share in sacrifice. So Dhanvantari, he is responsible to treat everyone. He was very conversant with the science of medicine. Upon seeing Dhanvantari carrying the jug of nectar, the demons desired the jug and its contents, immediately snatched it away by force.
समुद्र-मंथन से उत्पन्न संपूर्ण वस्तु को प्राप्त करने की इच्छा से उन्होंने बलपूर्वक अमृत कलश.
So they immediately snatched it away by force. When the jug of nectar was carried off by the demons, the demigods were morose. Thus they sought shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, Sri Hari. When the Supreme Lord, who always desires to fulfill the ambitions of his devotees, saw that the demigods were morose. He said to them, "Do not be aggrieved. By my own energy I shall bewither the demons by creating a quarrel among them. In this way I shall fulfill your desire to have the nectar." O king, a quarrel then arose among the demons over who would get the nectar first. Each of them said, so the demons took the pot of nectar, snatched it, and then when they went away, the demons started to quarrel. Why? Because they were thinking, who will take the nectar first? Who will drink it first? First I will drink. No, I will drink first. Me first, not you. So the demons were quarreling amongst themselves about who will drink the nectar first. O king, in this way the weaker demons forbade the stronger demons to take the nectar. Some of the demons said, "All the demigods have taken part in churning the ocean of milk. Now as everyone has an equal right to partake in any public sacrifice according to the eternal religious system, it is befitting that the demigods now have a share of the nectar."
इधर द्वैतों में आपसी कलह हो रहा था और उधर समस्त उपाय को जाने वाले भगवान विष्णु,
the Supreme Lord Vishnu, who can counteract any unfavorable situation, then assumed the form of an extremely beautiful woman. So the demons, they got this pot of nectar and they were fighting among themselves. For what? I'll drink it first, I'll drink it first. But the demigods, all of us, we had the same effort. So if you drink, everybody should drink also together. So they were quarreling. And the demigods, they were upset. Oh, we lost the pot of nectar. We lost it.
उधर समस्त उपायों को जानने वाले भगवान विष्णु ने परम अद्भुत स्त्री का रूप धारण किया, जिसकी शोभा वर्णन करना संभव नहीं था.
It's not possible to describe the beauty of the form that Vishnu appeared. Mohini Murti.
मोहिनी जो है, रूप जो है, स्वयं भगवान मोहिनी के रूप धारण.
Bhagavan manifests in the form of Mohini.
अब ये मोहिनी रूप कैसे है?
How is Mohini?
उस रमण के शरीर का अंग नील कमल के समान सांवला था.
Her complexion resembled in color as newly grown blackish lotus, and every part of her body was beautifully situated. Her ears were equally decorated with earrings. Her cheeks were very beautiful. Her nose was raised and her face full of youthful luster. Her large breasts made her waist seem very thin. Attracted by the aroma of her face and body, bumblebees hummed around her, and thus her eyes were restless. Her hair, which was extremely beautiful, was garlanded with malika flowers. Her attractively constructed neck was decorated with a necklace and other ornaments. Her arms were decorated with bangles. Her body was covered with a clean sari, and her breasts seemed like islands in an ocean of beauty. Her legs were decorated with ankle bells. Because of the movements of her eyebrows as she smiled with shyness and glanced over the demons, all the demons were saturated with lusty desires, and every one of them desired to possess her.
नास्ति हुई बेहरूपी बानो और कटाक्ष रूपी चित्तवान से दैत्य सेनापति के देवताओं देखती है तो उनके अंतःकरण काम पान से बिंद हो जाते अर्थात मोहिनी के इतने सुंदर रूप.
So the form of Mohini was so pretty, gorgeous. Seeing her, all the demons became completely bewildered. Chapter 9. Shukadeva Goswami said, Hey Maharaj Parikshit, therefore the demons became inimical toward one another. Throwing and snatching the container of nectar, they gave up their friendly relationship. Meanwhile, they saw a very beautiful young woman coming forward toward them.
इतने ही समय में ओसु लोग देखा कि अति सुंदर मनोहारिणी स्त्री को अपने ओर चली आ रही थी. उस मोहिनी देवी जब उसके निकट आने लगी, अहो रूपम अहो धाम अहो अस्तावनवं वय हिततीते तामद्भुतं प्रपच्युत जात इच्छया. उस समय सुंदरी को देखकर वे सोचने लगी, ओहो यह कितनी सुंदर है. इसकी अंगों की.
Upon seeing the beautiful woman, the demon said, Alas, how wonderful is her beauty, how wonderful the luster of her body, and how wonderful the beauty of her youthful age. Speaking in this way, they quickly approached her, full of lusty desires to enjoy her, and began to inquire from her in many ways. When Mohini Devi was coming towards the demons, seeing her, the demons what happened?
ये कह रहे पद्म पलाश लोचने, तुम कौन हो, कहाँ से आ रही हो, क्या करना चाहिए, तुम किसी की कन्या हो, कुछ बतलाओ. तुम्हें देखकर हमारे हृदय बहुत उथल-पुथल हो रहा है.
So they asked her, Who are you? Where do you come from? The demons quickly approached her, full of lusty desires to enjoy her, and began to inquire from her in many ways. Who are you? Where do you come from? What is the purpose in coming here? And to whom do you belong? Oh, you whose thighs are extraordinarily beautiful. Our minds are becoming agitated simply because of seeing you. What speak of human beings? Even the demigods, demons, siddhas, gandharvas, charanas, and the various directors of the universe, the prajapatis, have never touched you before. It's not that we are unable to understand your identity. Oh, beautiful girl, who's telling these things? The demons. Certainly Providence, by his causeless mercy, has sent you to please the sense and minds of all of us. It's not a fact?
उसके कारण झगड़े में लग गए हैं, इसमें अपना पुरुष दिखा रहे हैं.
All of us, both demons and demigods, have been born from the same father, Kashyap, and thus we are related as brothers, but now we are exhibiting our personal prowess in dissension. So the demons told to Mohini Murti, you distribute the nectar. Therefore, we request you to settle our dispute and divide the nectar equally among us. Having thus been requested by the demons, the Supreme Lord, who had assumed the form of a beautiful woman, began to smile. Looking at them with attractive feminine gestures, she spoke as follows. The Supreme Lord, in the form of Mohini, told the demons, O sons of Kashyap Muni, I am only a prostitute. How is it that you have so much faith in me? A learned person never puts his faith in a woman.
पर भी विश्वास नहीं करते।
A learned person never puts his faith in a woman.
हैं? क्या लिख दिया?
What is written?
कथं कश्यप दावदं पुंश्चलाय मयि संगनं विश्वासं पणितो साधु कामिनिधिषु न जाति। विज्ञजन कभी भी स्त्रियों पर
So,
विश्वास।
intelligent persons never trust a woman.
हे असुरों, बानर, सियार और कुत्ते आदि जंतु प्रत्येक दिन नए नए सुंदरों का ढूंढता रहता है। स्वेच्छाचारी स्त्रियां भी ऐसे ही होती हैं। पंडित को कहना है कि उनकी मित्रता चिरस्थायी नहीं हुआ करती। हे सुखदेव गोस्वामी ने सुखदेव गोस्वामी ने कहा, हे महात्मा की मोहिनी के इस प्रकार परिहासमय वचनों से असुर अधिक भी आसक्त हो गए और उन्होंने गंभीर भाव से हंसते हुए अमृत पात्र उनके हाथ में ही दे दिया। किसके हाथ में? मोहिनी के हाथ में दे दिया। मोहिनी तो स्वयं भी कह दिया।
So Mohini told,
प्रयास करके
actually making fun, what Mohini told. What did Mohini say?
हाँ? क्या? स्त्रियों को विश्वास करना नहीं चाहिए।
Should not ever put faith in a woman. Mohini himself told, a learned person never puts his faith in a woman. Oh demons, as monkeys, jackals, and dogs are unsteady in their sexual relationship and want newer and newer friends every day, women who live independently seek new friends daily. Friendship with such a woman is never permanent. This is the opinion of learned scholars. Shukadeva Goswami continued, after the demons heard the words of Mohini, who had spoken as if jokingly, they were all very confident. They left with gravity and ultimately they delivered the container of nectar into her hands. Thereafter God, having taken possession of the container of nectar, smiled slightly and spoke in attractive words. She said, my dear demons, if you accept whatever I may do, whether honest or dishonest, then I can take responsibility for dividing the nectar among you. The chiefs of the demons were not very expert in deciding things. Upon hearing the sweet words of Mohini, they immediately assented, yes. They answered, what you have said is all right. Thus the demons agreed to accept her decision. Next, demigods and demons then observed the fast. After bathing, they offered clarified butter and oblations into the fire and gave charity to the cows and to the brahmanas and members of the other orders of society, namely the kshatriyas, vaishyas and shudras, who were all rewarded as they deserved. So how to drink the nectar? Before drinking the nectar, they had to fast, have to be with their belly empty, and they got a bathe, and they also need to offer ghee in the fire.
और विशेष करके आप लोग सुंदर नए वस्त्र और आभूषण धारण किए तथा
Then they dressed themselves with new garments according to their own choice, decorated their bodies with ornaments and sat.
वैसे अमृत है ना, पान करने के लिए कितने व्यवस्था दे रहा है।
So how many arrangements just to take the nectar?
कैसे करो? पूर्व दिशा के मुख करके।
So they had to sit looking at the east direction, sat facing east on seats made of kusha grass. So that's why early in the morning we have to chant the mantra looking to the east direction, looking at the east direction. So you should chant the mantra facing east.
इसलिए कह रहे हैं
O king, as the demigods and demons sat facing east in an arena fully decorated with flower garlands and lamps and fragrant with the smoke of incense, that woman dressed in most beautiful sari, her ankle bells tinkling, entered the arena, walking very slowly because of her big low hips. Her eyes were restless due to the youthful pride.
स्वर्णिम नुपुरों के मधुर झंकार से
Her breasts were like water jugs. Her thighs resembled the trunks of elephants.
ने प्रवेश किया।
And she carried a water pot in her hand.
विशाल हल है।
So there was a big hall.
एक तरफ देवता लोग और दूसरी तरफ
On one side the demigods and on the other side the
लोग बैठ गए।
demons. They were sitting.
भाई अमृत पान ऐसे थोड़ी होता है जैसे।
So to drink nectar is,
अमृत पान के लिए
there's so many things.
सदाचार
Have to follow the pure behavior before drink the nectar, like so many rules.
उच्चस्रवा बड़े क्रूर होते हैं, उन्हें अमृत पिलाना सांप के दूध पिलाने के समान और अत्यंत घातक है। इस प्रकार सोच विचार करके भगवान अच्युत ने असुरों का अमृत से
Demons are by nature crooked like snakes. Therefore, to distribute a share of the nectar to them was not at all feasible. So, on one side the demons were sitting, the other side the demigods were sitting. So God thought, if I give the nectar for the demons to drink, because of the demons, all the creation will be destroyed. Just like if you feed a snake with milk, and then the snake will bite you. So if I give milk to if I give nectar to the demons, these demons will destroy my creation. God was thinking.
तत्पश्चात भगवान श्री अपने हाथों में अमृत कलश लेकर असुरों के समीप गए और अपने भ्रूभंगिमा कटाक्ष मंद मंद मुस्कान
when the demigods
संचालन आदि विविध प्रकार के भावों से उनकी वंचना करके दूर बैठे हुए देवता को
21
जन्म मरण का
Then she administered the nectar to the demigods who were sitting at a distant place to make them free of invalidity, old age and death. Taking the container of nectar in her hands, she first approached the demons, satisfied them with sweet words, and thus cheated them of their share of the nectar. Then she administered the nectar to the demigods who were sitting in a distant place.
स्त्रियों से विवाद करना अत्यंत निंदनीय है। यह सोच विचार कर तथा अपनी प्रतिज्ञा की
O king, since the demons had promised to accept whatever the woman did, whether just or unjust, now to keep his promise, to show their... So the demons thought, let's not be against this Mohini, because Shastra explains, if you're against a woman, this is the cause of her death. So the demons thought, okay, first she'll feed the demigods, okay, but later she'll feed us, so okay. So some demons wanted to complain that she was first feeding the demigods. Why are you first giving to the demigods? What if the nectar is over before you come to us? Then we'll not get anything. This is also a possibility. So, but they know it's never good to quarrel for a woman, to be against a woman. According to Niti Shastra explains. to save themselves from fighting with a woman.
स्त्रियों के साथ विवाद करने पर
Because if you fight with a woman,
हानि भी हो सकता है।
this can be very harmful to your life.
जिस समय भगवान देवता को अमृत पिला रहे थे, उसी समय राहु नामक असुर
The demons had developed affection for Mohini Murti and a kind of faith in her. And they were afraid of disturbing their relationship. Therefore, they showed respect and honor to her words and did not say anything that might disturb their friendship with her. Rahu, the demon who caused eclipses of the sun and moon, covered himself with the dress of a demigod and thus entered the assembly of the demigods and drank nectar without being detected by anyone, even by the Supreme Lord. The moon and the sun, however, because of permanent animosity toward Rahu, understood the situation. Thus Rahu was detected. So when this demon called Rahu he disguised as a demigod and he sat between the sun and the moon. He sat in the middle.
भगवान श्री ने अमृत पिलाते पिलाते ही अपने तीखी धार वाले वक्र चक्र से राहु
The Supreme Lord Hari, using his disc, which was sharp like a razor, at once cut off Rahu's head. When Rahu's head was severed from his body, the body, being untouched by the nectar, could not survive. Rahu's head, however, having been touched by the nectar, became immortal. Thus Lord Brahma accepted Rahu's head as one of the planets. Since Rahu is an eternal enemy of the moon and the sun, he always tries to attack them on the nights of the full moon and the dark moon. So this demon Rahu, on the day of full moon, new moon and full moon, tries to attack. That's why sometimes there are eclipses. There are, until now, in the new moon, he tries to attack them.
जब देवता के अमृत पान करना प्राय समाप्त हो गया, तब लोक पावन भगवान शिव ने उस बड़े बड़े असुरों के समक्ष ही मोहिनी रूप त्याग कर अपना वास्तविक रूप प्रकट कर.
So Rahu, being an eternal enemy of the moon and sun, attacks them periodically during the nights of the full moon and the dark moon.
और मोती मणि समान होकर भी देवता और असुर की फल प्राप्ति.
Thus, when the demigods had almost finished drinking the nectar, the Lord, in the presence of all the demons, disclosed his original form. The place, the time, the cause, the purpose, the activity, and the ambition were all the same for both the demigods and the demons. But the demigods achieved one result and the demons another. Because the demigods are always under the shelter of the dust of the Lord's lotus feet, they could very easily drink the nectar and get its result. The demons, however, not having sought shelter at the lotus feet of Lord, were unable to achieve the result they desired. In human society, there are various activities performed for the protection of one's wealth and life by one's word, one's mind, and one's action. But they are all performed for one's personal or extended sense gratification with reference to the body. All these activities are baffled because of being separate from devotional service. But when the same activities are performed for the satisfaction of the Lord, the beneficial results are distributed to everyone. Just as water poured on the root of a tree is distributed throughout the entire tree.
तो यहाँ पर जो सिद्धांत दे रहे हैं
So the Siddhanta here is given.
तो यहाँ पर जो सिद्धांत तो दे रहे हैं, बताओ क्या बोला?
What have I said?
देवता भगवान श्री हरि के चरण के आश्रय लेते हैं.
So the demigods, they take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, but the demons, they
भगवान के चरण से विमुख थे.
They are against the lotus feet of Lord.
आश्रय जन की तो दिया जाता है मूल्यवान.
So those who are those who took shelter, then you give valuable things to them. Those who took shelter, they are given, they can get the valuable things. Those who haven't taken shelter, they are cheated. So the demons, they were not under the shelter of Bhagavan Sri Hari, so they were cheated in this way.
इसलिए कह रहे दैत्य भगवान के चरण में विमुख थे, इसलिए इतना कष्टसाध्य परिश्रम करके भी अमृत फल की प्राप्ति कर न सके.
The demons, however, not having sought shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, were unable to achieve the result they desired.
उसी प्रकार सारे प्रयास भगवान के उद्देश्य से करने पर उसका फल भेद भाव रहित होकर सभी को मिल जाता है.
But when the same activities are performed for the satisfaction of the Lord, the beneficial results are distributed to everyone, just as water poured on the root of a tree is distributed throughout the entire tree.
अभी आगे 10वें अध्याय में देवासुर.
So now 10th chapter, time's up. The battle between the demigods and the demons. Shukadeva said, O king, the demons and Devatas all engaged with full attention and effort in churning the ocean, but because they were not devotees of Vasudeva, they were not able to drink the nectar. So sometimes I tell a story. Maybe you have heard. Some story of the Ramayana. Ram and Lakshman, they were together, staying together. And Bharat and Shatrugna. So Ram and Lakshman are always together, and Bharat and Shatrugna, they are always together. So Lakshman and Bharat, many times they are against each other. Ram is not against anyone. Shatrugna, he's like neutral. But sometimes also Shatrugna, he has more affection for Bharat. And Lakshman, more affection for Ramchandra. In this context, there's a story in the Ramayana described. When the Dasharatha Maharaj left body and Bharat came back from Nanihal, wasn't it? Bharat, he got to know what had happened. Then, anyway, he had to burn the father, his body's father, the father of his body, the body of his father. Then Vashishta Rishi told, because your father gave these two blessings, that Ramachandra would go to the forest for 14 years and that you should be the king of Ajodha. You should sit on the throne, king's throne. Bharata was very upset.
बोले नहीं, ये अयोध्या के
Bharat said, no,
एकमात्र मेरे भाई
only my brother Ram
ही दावेदार है।
is fit for this throne of Ajodha. So Bharata brought all the army, elephant, horses, all, the crown of the kingdom, wealth, everything. And Bharata came where? Where Ramchandra was in the forest. And maybe we're like 2-3 days, just like 2-3 days after Ram left. So Ram was still in Chitrakoot at that time.
उस समय लक्ष्मण के जब पता लगा ये भरत सैन्य सामंत लेकर के आ रहे थे,
when Lakshman got to know that they were coming with all the army,
बहुत क्रोधित हो गया।
Lakshman was very angry
बोले ये भरत
and told,
माँ के भांति कुटिल है,
Bharata is crooked just like his mother.
क्योंकि मेरे भाई राम 14 साल के बाद
Because
अयोध्या जाएंगे,
my brother will go for 14 years in the forest, and not even this Bharata wants to allow.
इसलिए भरत यह मन मन विचार किया,
So Bharata thought,
है ना रहे बांस ना बजे,
where there is no bamboo, there will be no flute. So
मार दिया जाए,
better I just kill Ram. I'd better kill Ram. I'd better take out this thorn forever.
विचार कौन कर रहे हैं?
So who's thinking this?
लक्ष्मण का।
Lakshman is thinking that Bharata is thinking in this way.
इसलिए
So
इतने सैन्य सामंत लेकर
that's why Bharata is coming with all the armies and everyone, because he wants to attack my brother Ram.
क्यों राम इस समय जो है
Because Ram
में
is
अकेला है और
alone in the forest right now. Only I am with him. He has no power,
लक्ष्मण
like no one, not forces. So Bharata wants to kill Ram now.
तो उस समय रामायण में एक रामचरितमानस में एक चौपाई है।
In the Ramcharitamanas, there is a verse in this moment of the story you can see. Lakshman told,
ये देखो भरत के साथ जो हमारी जो बैरी है, ये केवल इस जन्म के नहीं है।
my enmity towards Bharata is not from this birth, it's from many lives.
है कोई ऐसे शब्द आ रहे हैं उसमें।
So he's saying some word like this.
उनके साथ मेरा बैर जो है,
My enmity towards Bharata, our fight, our quarrel is not from this birth.
जो है उसे अभी है उठा लेता हूँ।
And now,
तो यहीं पर
like,
कथा प्रसंग आता है।
so there is one story here now, according related. Why Lakshman saying this?
जे भरत के साथ जो हमारा बैरी,
That their enmity, Lakshman Bharata's enmity, is not from this birth, it's from many births before. Today
जन्म की नहीं है, अनेक जन्म की कथा है। इस प्रसंग में एक कथा भी है, पुराण की एक कथा है।
So there's a story of the Puranas actually relating to this.
ये लक्ष्मण तो शेषनाग की अवतार है।
Lakshman is the avatar of Sheshanag.
है? और उसके अंदर में सब सुखी देव भी है, नाग भी है।
So inside him also this Vasuki Nag is also inside him. All the snakes are inside him. That's it.
और वही लक्ष्मण के अवतार कहा जाता है।
And he's the
शेषनाग।
Sheshanag is the avatar of Lakshman.
भगवान की सेवा आदि करते हैं। हैं?
Like Lakshman,
बिस्तरा के रूप में
Sheshanag always serves Bhagavan as a bed, as the bed of God.
और इधर ये भरत कौन है?
So who is Bharat?
नहीं, भरत में जो है, भारत में गरुड़ की समावेश है।
Garud is like Garud.
भारत के अंदर में कौन है?
Who is inside Bharata?
गरुड़।
Garud.
है।
Garuda.
तो अभी इधर है ये गरुड़ और
So
सांप
Garud and the snakes, they are always
झगड़ा रहता है।
fighting.
है? ये स्वाभाविक रूप में है।
This is natural,
है कि नहीं?
isn't it?
गरुड़ और सर्प में झगड़ा सदा सर्वदा रहता है।
Garuda and the snakes are always fighting.
लीला है।
This is so much
भगवान जगन्नाथ
diversified, the lilas of Lord. You see why God is in the shape of Jagannath sitting down.
हाथ नहीं है, पैर नहीं।
Jagannath has no hands, no legs, no hands, no legs.
तो उसमें शास्त्रकार भी कहते हैं,
The Shastra explains,
ये भगवान विष्णु कह रहे हैं,
Vishnu is saying one time,
ये
Vishnu
मैं
told,
कहना दारू ब्रह्म होगी क्यों
I manifested this transcendental wood, Daru Brahma.
को सुनाते थे।
Why? Gurudev, my Gurudev used to tell this katha,
नारद ऋषि एक बार
that once Narada Rishi,
यही जगन्नाथ जी की पूछा,
he asked to Jagannath, oh Jagannath Prabhu, please tell me,
दारू ब्रह्म होकर के क्यों बैठे हैं?
why are you sitting here in this form of Daru Brahma, this transcendental wood?
तब उस समय भगवान कहने
Then
लगे,
Bhagavan told Narada Rishi, as Jagannath he told to Narada, what can I say?
भाग्य है,
It's my misfortune, my bad luck,
मेरा दो पत्नी है,
that I have two wives.
चंचला
One is Chanchala,
और एक है मुखरा।
another is
चंचला
Mukhara.
माने
Chanchala means Lakshmi.
वो एक स्थान में नहीं रहती है,
She does not stay in one place. She starts walking, going everywhere.
एक और जो मेरा दूसरी स्त्री क्या है?
And my second wife is,
वो बहुत मुखरा, मुखरा माने एक शब्द बोलो तो 10 बात सुना देते हैं।
is a Mukhara. Mukhara is someone who you speak one word, she speaks 100 words back. This is my family life. And my son, oh, he's so beautiful
एक स्थान पर नहीं रहते,
that he does not stay in one place. He's going everywhere, my son.
यही मेरा संसार है।
This is my family life.
देखो
Another point.
जहाँ पर सोता हूँ,
When I sleep,
इस तरह क्या है?
what is my bed? Is
शेष है,
shesh,
सांप है।
a snake.
चलो सोच लेता हूँ थोड़ा आराम
Okay,
से सो
if I try to sleep in a relaxed way,
नरम बिछाना है,
if I have a soft bed, okay, but I cannot even sleep. I cannot even fall asleep. Why? Because
ना मेरा वाहन जो है,
my carrier is Garud,
ये मेरा वाहन गरुड़
and my carrier Garud and the snake, they are always fighting, quarreling.
और उस झगड़े में बीच में मैं पड़ा रहता।
So I'm always in the middle of the fight. Am I able to sleep?
इधर के एक पड़ोसी
So if there's if there's one neighbor here, another neighbor there, if you're fighting, if they're fighting, you're in the middle of the fight, will you be able to sleep?
झगड़ा नहीं करो, किसी के पक्ष नहीं,
Oh, maybe we won't take anyone's side, it's okay.
गाली गलौज ये गाली गलौज
But one is swearing the other one, calling the other names and this and that. You'll not be able to sleep because you're in the middle of a fight.
इसलिए भगवान कह रहे हैं,
So Bhagavan says here,
पुत्र मेरा भुवन विजयी, पुत्र मेरा भवन विजयी है।
my son is,
इसे कहता है भाई, इसे जगन्नाथपुर ने समुद्र के किनारे में
like Bhavana Vijay, I don't know exactly the meaning, but okay, his son is traveling everywhere, so that's why I'm in the form of Jagannath, not speaking or anything.
जिस प्रसंग मैंने आप लोग को कहा था, क्या बताया?
So I was telling
अवतार बताया गया?
that Lakshmana was the avatar of
शेष भगवान,
Shish,
सर्प,
the snake,
और भरत जी
and Bharataji was the
है।
Garuda
ये
ji.
दोनों में क्या है? हर समय
So they are always quarreling to each other.
इसलिए लक्ष्मण
So that's why Lakshman,
आज विचार कर रहे हैं, ये भरत
now he's
मैं
thinking, I will
अंत कर देता
kill Bharat.
है।
I'll kill Bharat.
इसमें एक चौपाई है पढ़ना,
There's a verse in the Ramcharitamanas you can read.
पुराण जो जितने झगड़ा है आज मिटा
Like all our old quarrels, our old fights today will, like, how do you say, like
लक्ष्मण के तीर धनुष लेकर के
like once for all we will finish all our fights because I will like kill him. This is our last battle, like this. All our quarrels we will solve now.
लक्ष्मण क्या बोले, नहीं जिसके माँ
But
कुटिल है, जो बात
Ram said Bharat is not like this,
ऐसी कोई बात
but Lakshman said his mother is a crooked person, his son also the same, her son also the same. Then Ram said it's not true, it ain't true.
इसलिए
So
लक्ष्मण तब वो शांत हो,
after some time then Lakshman was pacified.
फिर अंत में लक्ष्मण भरत जी के
Then
पास जाकर
in the end
अपने
Lakshman went to Bharat
क्षमा प्रार्थना मांगी,
and he asked for forgiveness,
है कि नहीं?
wasn't it?
और उस दिन वो कथा काल ने परसों सुनाया,
So I think yesterday or the day before I told that story,
तो एक व्यक्ति ने प्रश्न किया,
once someone asked,
देखो चित जगत में सभी
in the spiritual world
चिन्मय है,
everything is spiritual and transcendental,
भगवान की लीला के साथ में सभी चिन्मय
to help the lilas of Lord. Everything is transcendental.
भरत ने रामचंद्र के खड़म जो है
So Bharata bought the wooden sandals of Lord Ram
बैठा दिया।
and put that on the throne of Ajodhya.
तो यहाँ पर ये प्रश्न है,
So the question comes,
ये खड़म भगवान राम
these wooden sandals of Bhagavan Ram,
वो राज सिंहासन पर क्यों बैठी 14 साल?
why for 14 years it was on the throne? How did it get such a good fortune, these wooden sandals? For 14 years,
कोई नहीं बैठे,
no one sat on the throne,
खड़म बैठे।
only the wooden sandals on the throne of Ajodhya.
खड़म इससे और सिंहासन पर क्यों बैठे? उसके सौभाग्य
Why? What is the good fortune? What is the good fortune of these wooden sandals?
क्या? क्यों खड़म क्यों 14 साल क्यों रहा वहाँ पर?
Why the wooden sandals were in the throne for 14 years?
देखो,
Look,
जनक महाराज
Janak Maharaj
अपने पुत्री सीता देवी के विवाह के लिए
for the wedding of his daughter Sita Devi, he invited everyone.
दशरथ महाराज की क्यों निमंत्रण क्यों नहीं दिया?
But why didn't he invite Dasharath Maharaj? Why didn't he invite Dasharath Maharaj?
इतने सुंदरी जो
There's a beautiful wedding happening in your house.
भी है,
And Janak Maharaj is a very also knowledgeable person and important person.
दशरथ महाराज भी
Dasharath Maharaj also,
महान प्रतापी
he was a very great king. He was not an ordinary person. He was very important.
माना जाता था।
He was actually known as the emperor.
दशरथ महाराज को क्या माना जाता था?
Dasharath Maharaj, he was known as Chakravarti Samrat,
भारत की कोई सामान्य नहीं।
like an emperor. He was not ordinary king.
तो ऐसे चक्रवर्ती सम्राट दशरथ महाराज के
So
न्योता क्यों नहीं दिया गया?
why didn't he invite this Dasharatha Maharaj, such a great emperor?
साल विवाह हो रहा है,
So if there are big weddings going on,
सीता देवी के विवाह कोई सामान्य थोड़ी है।
the wedding of Sita Devi is nothing ordinary.
आप बताओ,
So you tell me,
कभी चिंतन किया
have you ever thought about it?
है? देखो उस समय हरधनुष भंग में दशरथ महाराज जी ना
Because
बड़े-बड़े राजा
when
सबके न्योता दिया गया।
look, when the bow of Shiva was broken, Dasharatha Maharaj was not there. All the kings were invited, but Dasharatha Maharaj was not invited to that assembly of, when they, lifting the bow and stringing the bow. Why Dasharatha Maharaj was not invited? You tell me. There must be a reason. What is the reason?
आप बताओ, कारण तो होगा कुछ, हैं? कारण कुछ बड़ा होगा। बोलो वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय जय श्री राम। कल मैंने कहा था इसको, शायद आप लोग
Yesterday I told this. I think yesterday or the day before I told.
अच्छा कथा है,
Nice story.
हैं? अच्छा चलो आरती करो।
Okay, do Arati, it's 8 a.m.
कथा के उत्तर कल देंगे।
So the answer to these two kathas I'll give tomorrow.
बोला था,
I already told actually.
हैं?